So on our homework today, I am not going to give you answers, and instead I'm going to ask you to check your answers using your own calculator. So I do want you to show all your work. I want you to do it by hand. But then once you get your final answer, type it into your calculator and check that you had the correct answer. So if you don't show work, I'm not going to give you full credit. I expect that your work looks just kind of how it did when we did our example questions. But then at the end, once you get square root of 5 minus 1, you're going to go back in and type in the question into your calculator. So I'll type that in: integral from 0 to 2 of x divided by square root of 1 plus x squared. So the integral button is to the left of the book. Pretty much all of our main functions in calculus are to the left of that book. So the integral is right here in the bottom left. If we hit the left arrow, the integral with endpoints is up here with endpoints. If you ever get lost, you can't find them, you can also look in menu under calculus, or a lot of these guys. So, integral, sum, whatever. But I really like doing this to the left of the book because we can see it visually and pick the exact one that we want. So this was the integral from 0 to 2. And then we'll hit control divide. And we had x divided by the square root of 1 plus x squared. And then we have dx. We get square root of 5 minus 1. And then we check our work. Yeah, that's what we had. So nice and simple, really not hard at all. I do want to show one more quick thing is sometimes you'll get an answer that doesn't quite look like yours. And how can we check that? So on this one, we had 1 minus 1 over square root of 3. I said just stop there. Your calculator might go all the way here. It might do something different. It might simplify it differently. So I want to kind of show that as well. So in this case, we had the integral with endpoints, pi over 12 to pi over 6, and then secant of 2x times tangent of 2x dx. Make sure a few things. Don't type in secant, but use the trig button, right, to find secant and tangent. And as well, I like to make sure that we put a multiplication there. Use that multiplication symbol. So we want to make sure that we have that multiplication sign just to make sure that your calculator doesn't mess anything up. So we're going to hit enter. We hit enter, we get 1 minus square root of 3 over 3. And so our answer wasn't quite 1 minus square root of 3 over 3. Now, some of you guys might just be able to say, oh yeah, those are the same, I could rationalize it. But if you didn't realize that and you wanted to just check that it was the same, what you can always do is turn them into decimals. So you're going to turn the answer your calculator gave you into a decimal, and then the answer that you did by hand, you're going to turn that into a decimal. So the way that we do that is come back up here, right? Bring that down and hit Control Enter to turn it into a decimal. And then take your answer that you got, 1 minus 1 over square root of 3, and turn that into a decimal again by hitting Control Enter. So if you did this correctly, your decimals will be the same. If you did it incorrectly, our decimals will be different. So in this case, the calculator gave us 0.4226, and by hand our answer, it was 0.4226. Those are the same, so our answers were equivalent. So that means you don't have to type in what the calculator gave you, and actually I don't want you to because you didn't do that. I want you to leave your answer as what you got, but just that you did it correctly. So should be very, very easy. Your homework, like I said, is only 4 questions on this, but I do need you to show work. But then instead of me providing you with the answers, I want you to practice typing them into the calculator to figure out your own answers.